Carol Fay here, putting the EXP in expert. Today I'm going to tell you all about how my mortgage company tried to steal my house. Okay, you have to understand this is going to take several videos. This is not going to be a one video and done. This process has been going on for me for well over a year now. I learned a lot of things along the way that I want to share with you that I don't think is common knowledge among consumers that we need to be aware of about how to work with our mortgage companies when there's a problem. I am going to be very honest here. I am absolutely alarmed at how the laws are written, and they're not written to protect us. Every law that I have come up against has really been written to protect the lenders, and really these laws, they're not equally written. So what I mean by that is there are laws in place to protect the lender if I don't make a payment, but there are no laws in place to protect me if I do make a payment and the lender loses it. There are laws in place that govern how a mortgage account is supposed to be managed by the lender, but nobody's making sure that any of these laws are being followed. And when you go to them with a complaint, they're more concerned with filing the complaint, getting through it, and closing it out, so that their statistics look good on how quickly things were done, than they are with actually finding a resolution for you, the consumer. These videos are going to contain personal information about my experience and what I went through and where I'm at in that process right now. Please understand, this entire process, this entire fiasco started in November of 2020. It is now April of 2022, and it still is not resolved. For me to relay to you everything that transpired, I have to tell you some very personal information about myself. I am about to share things that I never thought I would tell anybody that I'm embarrassed about. I learned a lot as I went through everything that has gone on in my life. But yeah, it's pretty embarrassing to admit everything that I'm about to throw out into the world. Well, I'm just going to say it. I filed bankruptcy. I filed bankruptcy in 2016, and it was discharged in 2020. It was a Chapter 13. It was a 5-year bankruptcy. I had to make payments every month for 5 years to pay off all of my creditors. Unfortunately, I had purchased some properties in 2007 that never were worth what I actually paid for them. And this left me in a very bad financial situation. When you add to that the fact that nobody properly explained what a short sale was to me and how that process worked. Side note, now I'm a realtor. I didn't know that I should have gone to the banks, negotiated a short sale, and sold these properties for what they were actually worth instead of filing bankruptcy. But the only solid advice I could get at that time was from my accountant, who was looking at everything, and he was like, you just need to file bankruptcy. These properties are literally draining you. When your accountant looks at your money situation and says, file bankruptcy because you are drowning, and it is the only good advice you're getting, you run and file bankruptcy. So that's what I did. I filed bankruptcy. That posed its own challenges, which is a whole separate series. I want to stay focused right now. So I filed bankruptcy. My bankruptcy was discharged in November of 2020. Within 2 weeks of that discharge, 2 weeks, that's how fast this started, my bank sends me a notice. Because you are past due on your mortgage, we cannot remove your private mortgage insurance. Has anybody noticed recently I've been doing this series on the insurances? Because Carol got a crash course in private mortgage insurance and how all of that stuff works. So I contact the lender and I'm like, I've never missed a payment. I don't know what you're talking about. The lady's like, oh, well, we see here that you're, 1 month behind on your mortgage. That's news to me because I have never missed a payment this entire time, and I've just come out of bankruptcy. And during the bankruptcy, I was obligated even more so to make sure these payments were made every month. I've never missed a payment. How can we get this fixed? So for those who don't know, when you're in a bankruptcy, okay, I was in a Chapter 13. And so what they do is they take all the money that you owe everybody, okay, which for me, I was not financially extended or overextended on my normal everyday life. It was these additional properties that I had, these rental properties that I had, which I thought I was making a good investment, and I wasted my whole life savings on. It was these properties that were just draining me dry of every extra penny that I had and then some. So when you go into a Chapter 13, they take all the money that you owe and they put it in a bowl and they mix it up and they say, okay, this person's getting paid, this person's not getting paid, this person's getting paid, because what they do is they look at your income and they look at your debt and then they figure out how much can this person afford to pay every month and still be able to live. But my actual mortgage on the house that I live in was not included in the bankruptcy. So that payment had to be made separate every single month. So I have my mortgage every month, and now I have a bankruptcy payment every month, okay? Now, let's call it what it is. If you miss your mortgage payment or you're late on your mortgage payment, it's no big, it is a big deal, but like, it's not the end of the world. Nobody's going to come, killing you. But when you're in a bankruptcy, if it is found out that you were not able to maintain your financial obligation on your mortgage, it disrupts your entire bankruptcy. And you could be thrown out. And let's add that to the fact that I've never missed a mortgage payment. I've never missed a mortgage payment. I've never been late on a mortgage payment with my house. I've never had any problem making a mortgage payment on my house. Every month, like clockwork, this payment goes out. Because it's my mortgage, like this is my home. This is where I live. This gets paid before anybody gets paid because I don't want to be homeless. Carol comes from very humble beginnings. She doesn't want to go back there. Okay, so now let's go back. I get this notice in the mail. They're like, you've missed a payment. We cannot take PMI off of your mortgage payment. I'm on the phone. Her name is Shira. I have a whole laundry list of people that I spoke to. And I'm like, okay, I don't understand because I've never missed a payment. How can we fix this? She says, and this is November. Well, you didn't pay November's payment. Most certainly paid November's payment. Well, maybe it was October. No, I paid October's payment. Well, maybe it was September. Okay, why don't you tell me what month you think that I've missed? Well, let me do some research. Let me tell you how many times I heard, let me do some research. She says, let me do some research and we'll call you back. Okay, that seems fair and reasonable. Okay, now, I want to say at this point, I'm not upset. I'm not mad. I'm concerned. Okay, but in my mind, this is a mistake. There was a clerical error. This is going to be easy to fix. Everybody's going to move on because I know I made my payments. I could not have been further from the truth. So I don't want this video to be too long. I'm going to end it here. I will continue to put this up. I don't know how many parts this is going to take. There's the banking commission involved. Courts are involved. Attorneys, arguments. So many things have transpired. And it is still not resolved. This is still not resolved. Okay? So I'm going to take you through it all. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. So right now, here's the biggest piece of advice I can give you. If you are currently having an issue with your mortgage company, you need to get a folder. I'm going to show you mine. This isn't even everything, okay? This is just what I have right here because I have a whole other folder that's set aside for my attorney, okay? You need to start organizing everything you have from that mortgage company in writing. Everything. I don't care what they sent you in the mail. Get it open, get it organized, put it in chronological date order. Make sure you have some blank pieces of paper in there. You want to write down every time you talk to somebody. Before you start the conversation, you want to ask them, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Oh, do you have an operator number? Write that information down. Write down the day you spoke to them, the time you spoke to them, the name of the person you spoke to, and if possible, an operator number, okay? And then you say, great, now that I have that information, I personally want to timestamp this conversation. I'm going to use right now's time and date. On April 14th at 12:39 in the afternoon, I spoke with Carol from insert bank name. Their operator number is 12345. We are discussing whatever the issue is. And then you proceed the conversation, okay? And you write down that you timestamped the call, and this is who you talked to, and this is what the conversation was about. Don't ever get mad. Don't ever scream. Don't ever holler. Don't ever hang up, okay? None of that is going to help your situation. Don't get emotional. Just don't do it, okay? Get yourself together. Take a deep breath. We are going to get you through this because I am now 100% an advocate for consumers' rights when it comes to dealing with a mortgage company. The way I have been treated through this process is atrocious. The fact that nobody cared is more alarming than I think anything else that is still going on right now. Okay? The fact that my bank lied, and I'm talking bold-faced lied, to the banking commission, and the banking commission didn't even care to read the response that they had received and see that the information they were provided by this lender did not match the proof that I sent them, and instead sent me a letter. We're going to go ahead and close this now. Here's a copy of the response from your lender. Well, gee, jackasses, I didn't need you for that. What I needed you for was to protect me as a consumer who is in a position where their mortgage company is trying to bully, harass, and intimidate me into paying them money that I didn't owe. So if you are currently in this situation, please hit that subscribe button and hit the notification, because there's going to be a lot of information coming now, baby. Carol became a mortgage paymentologist. You have no idea how much information that I had to learn to protect myself in this situation. The fact that this information is not more readily available and made known to consumers is disgusting. Even Trump and all that is that nobody cared, and there literally are no laws protecting us as the people who have these accounts. I am absolutely stuck on the fact that if I didn't make this mortgage payment, right? How about this? How about if you don't make your mortgage payment, the lender is going to go in front of a judge. And the judge is going to go, oh, you can't pay your mortgage payment because you were laid off from work? So what? We don't care. Make the mortgage payment or we're going to sell the house to give the lender their money. Okay? You don't make the mortgage payment. You go back, the judge says, sheriff's sale. He's going to come. He's going to put a big orange sticker on your front door. He's going to throw you and your family on the street, okay? Because you didn't make your mortgage payment. There is no care or concern for you as a citizen that you at this point are going to be homeless because you couldn't pay the bank. And the bank, who makes billions of dollars a year, couldn't possibly find a way to work this out with you while you're on hard times for you to be able to pick it back up. No. The bank's going to let the court throw you on your ass in the street. They're going to take your house. They're going to take the contents of your house. They're going to sell everything so that the bank gets their money. And what's your consolation prize for that? You get to pay for it. So now you get to pay all the fees for everything. So if your house sells under the amount of money that you owe that bank, okay, you still have a bill. You still have a bill. I don't even understand. You're paying for the filing fees. You're paying for the sheriff's sale stuff. You're paying for all that stuff. On top of being made homeless, you get a nice big fat bill that goes with it. And let's just throw some more on top of there. You want to know what the whipped cream is? You want to know? How about this? The fact that you lost your house, let's say your house is $100,000, okay? You lose your house because you couldn't work, okay? Something happened. You're out of work. The mortgage company takes you to court. They won't work with you. They don't care. They want their money. Guess who else is coming after you? The IRS. When I'm done with this series, you're going to know everything you need to know. And honestly, I am begging, if you're having a problem with your mortgage company, hit me in the links below. Drop it in the comments. We need to figure out how to make things right. Because now, when you're on the other side of it, when you've made your mortgage payment and you've proven to that lender that you've made the mortgage payment time and time and time again, and you go to the banking commission and they won't help you, there's no laws on the opposite side of that protecting you as a consumer, saying, hey, wait a minute, if you harass a consumer for money that they don't owe you, you're going to have to pay that consumer XYZ. No. The way the laws are written is if you get screwed over by the lender, how about this? This is fun. The FTC and the Consumer Financing Agency and the Banking Consumer Commission, they can fine the bank and the money goes to them. What do you get? Bupkis. You get the big fat bird. You can go lay down in the grass and shut up because nobody cares about the problems that you've had to deal with and the stress that you had to incur because this lender wanted to bully, harass, and intimidate you into paying money that you didn't owe. There's no laws for you against that. So I really hope you'll stick around for this series because it's going to get good, baby, because I kicked their butts in court and I'm not done.